The gun was pointed at my chest. Alex Williams stood 3 feet away, his hand steady, his eyes empty. "How long?" he asked quietly. I didn't pretend not to understand. 6 months, I said. "Since the day I started cleaning your house." His jaw tightened. Behind him, FBI agents were flooding through the mansion. Voices shouting. Doors breaking. The empire crumbling. "You were just a maid," he whispered. I smiled. Even though my heart was racing so fast, I thought it might explode. "That's what everyone thought." Let me tell you how a single mother with a mop and bucket brought down the most powerful crime family in the city. 6 months earlier. My name is Anna Martinez, 32 years old. Single mother to a 7-year-old daughter named Sophia. And 6 months ago, I was desperate. The hospital bills were piling up. Sophia needed surgery for her heart condition. The kind of surgery that costs more money than I'd see in 5 years of regular work. I'd applied everywhere. Restaurants, offices, stores. Nothing paid enough. Then I saw the ad. Live-in housekeeper needed. Private family. Excellent pay. Discretion required. Discretion required. That should have been my first warning. The interview was at a mansion in the hills. The kind of place you only see in movies. A woman answered the door. Mid-40s, expensive jewelry, cold smile. "You're Anna?" "Yes, ma'am. I'm here about the housekeeping position." She looked me up and down like she was inspecting furniture. "You have references?" I have 3 years experience at. "Do you ask questions?" I blinked. "Ma'am? Questions. Do you ask them? About things that don't concern you?" Something in my gut twisted. But I thought about Sophia. The surgery. The bills. "No, ma'am," I said quietly. "I don't ask questions." She smiled. "Then you're hired." Her name was Irene Williams, wife of Alex Williams, who I'd learned ran a very successful import-export business. At least, that's what they told people. The truth? I figured it out on my 3rd day. The discovery. It was 2 a.m. I couldn't sleep. The room they'd given me was nice. Too nice. Everything in this house was too nice, too quiet, too perfect. I went down to the kitchen for water. That's when I heard voices. Low. Urgent. Coming from the study. I should have gone back upstairs. Instead, I moved closer. "The shipment arrives Friday," a man's voice said. "Port 7. Same as always." "And the product?" That was Alex Williams. "Clean. No trace. The Colombians guaranteed it." Product. Shipment. Colombians. My hand gripped the water glass tighter. "What about the police?" Another voice. Younger. "Handled. Captain Rodriguez is on payroll." My blood went cold. This wasn't an import-export business. This was a drug cartel. I backed away slowly, carefully, but my foot caught the edge of a rug. The water glass slipped. It hit the marble floor and shattered. The voices inside stopped. Footsteps. Fast. The door opened. Alex Williams stood there, staring at me. Behind him, 2 other men. One I'd later learn was named Kelvin, Alex's enforcer. Built like a tank, face like a nightmare. The other was younger. Mid-20s. Alex's son, Jeff. "Anna," Alex said calmly. Too calmly. "What are you doing up?" I pointed at the broken glass, my voice shaking. "I'm sorry. I came for water. I didn't mean to." "What did you hear?" "Nothing. I swear." I just got here and I dropped the glass. Kelvin took a step forward. She's lying. My heart stopped. Alex raised a hand. Kelvin, stop. He studied me for a long moment. Then he smiled. Clean this up, Anna, and go back to bed. Yes, sir. As I knelt to pick up the glass, my hand shaking so badly I could barely hold the pieces. I heard Alex say quietly, Keep an eye on her. That night, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling. I should quit. I should run. I should take Sophia and disappear. But I couldn't afford to run. And I definitely couldn't afford to die. So I made a decision. If they were going to watch me, I was going to watch them back. I was just a maid. What did I have to lose? Everything, it turned out. The next morning, I cleaned like my life depended on it. Because it did. Irene walked through the house inspecting everything, running her fingers along surfaces, checking corners. You're very thorough, she said. Thank you, ma'am. My husband says you were up late last night. I froze. I apologize for the noise, ma'am. It won't happen again. She studied me. No, it won't. Then she walked away. Over the next 2 weeks, I learned the rhythm of the house. Alex left every morning at 8 a.m., returned at 6 p.m., sometimes later. Irene spent her days shopping, lunching with friends, pretending to be a normal wealthy wife. Jeff, the son, was unpredictable. Some days he was charming, other days violent. I'd hear him screaming at staff members, throwing things. And Kelvin? Kelvin watched me constantly. In the kitchen. In the halls. Even when I was cleaning the upstairs bedrooms. Always watching. But here's what they didn't know. I was watching too. I started paying attention. Real attention. When I dusted Alex's office, I glanced at the papers on his desk. When I cleaned the study, I'd notice which books had been moved. When I vacuumed the living room, I'd listen to phone conversations that weren't meant for my ears. I was invisible to them. The help always is. And invisible people see everything. 3 weeks in, I found it. Alex's office. 11 a.m. He was out at a meeting. I was cleaning his desk when I saw the drawer slightly open. Inside was a leather-bound book. I should have closed the drawer. Instead, I opened the book. Names. Dates. Amounts. Rodriguez $50,000 monthly. Senator Graves $100,000 election support. Port Authority $25,000 blind inspections. Page after page. Police, politicians, judges, all bought, all owned. My hands were shaking. This wasn't just drug trafficking. This was an empire. Find something interesting? I spun around. Jeff stood in the doorway, arms crossed, smirking. My mouth went dry. I was just dusting. He walked closer. Too close. You're a terrible liar, Anna. I didn't see anything. Yes, you did. He reached past me and closed the ledger. Here's what's going to happen, he said quietly. You're going to forget what you saw. You're going to do your job. And you're going to keep your mouth shut. I nodded quickly. Yes, of course. He leaned in, his breath on my face. Because if you don't, I'll make sure your little girl doesn't make it to her next birthday. Everything inside me went cold. You stay away from my daughter. He smiled. Then you stay silent. He walked out. I stood there for a long time, staring at that closed ledger, thinking about Sophia, thinking about the surgery she needed, thinking about Jeff's threat. And that's when something inside me snapped. I wasn't going to run. I wasn't going to stay silent. I was going to burn this family to the ground. The plan begins, That night, I went to a library across town. Used a public computer. Did something I never thought I'd do. I Googled how to contact the FBI. It took me 2 days to work up the courage. I used a burner phone I bought with cash. Called the tip line. A woman answered. FBI, how can I help you? My voice was barely a whisper. I have information. About the Williams family. A pause. What kind of information? Drug trafficking. Money laundering. Police corruption. Everything. Who is this? I can't tell you that. Not yet. Ma'am, if you want us to act, we need. I'll call back. With proof. I hung up. The double life begins, From that moment on, I became two people. By day, Anna the maid. Quiet. Obedient. Invisible. By night, Anna the informant. Documenting. Recording. Surviving. I bought a small camera. The kind you can hide in a button. When I cleaned Alex's office, I photographed documents. When I served dinner, I listened to conversations and recorded them on my phone hidden in my apron. When I made the beds upstairs, I searched drawers for evidence. Every night after everyone was asleep, I'd upload everything to a secure cloud account. Building a case. One photograph at a time. But I had to be careful. Kelvin was still watching. And Jeff? Jeff was getting more suspicious every day. One morning, Irene stopped me in the hallway. Anna, you've been with us almost 2 months now. Yes, ma'am. You're very observant. My heart skipped. I try to notice what needs cleaning, ma'am. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. That's good. We appreciate loyalty in this house. She walked past me, then stopped. Anna? Yes, ma'am. Loyal people live longer. Message received. Month 3. I collected enough evidence to fill a courtroom. Financial records. Recorded conversations. Photographs of drug shipments. The FBI agent I'd been working with, her name was Agent Nat Reeves, said we were close. One more piece, she told me over the phone. We need direct evidence linking Alex to the cartel leadership. A meeting. A transaction. Something undeniable. I'll get it, I said. Anna, be careful. These people don't forgive. I know. The opportunity came faster than I expected. Alex announced there would be a dinner party that Friday night. Important guests, Irene said. Everything must be perfect. Perfect meant I'd be serving, which meant I'd be in the room. The dinner party. Friday night. The mansion was transformed. Candles. Music. Expensive wine. The guests arrived in luxury cars. I recognized some of them from the ledger. Captain Rodriguez, the corrupt cop. Senator Graves, the politician. And 3 men I didn't recognize. Foreign. Dangerous looking. The Colombians. I served drinks with shaking hands. Trying to be invisible. Trying to listen. Alex stood at the head of the table, raising his glass. Gentlemen, to new partnerships and profitable futures. Everyone drank. Then one of the Colombians spoke. His accent was thick. The next shipment will be our largest yet. 50 kilos. Pure product. Alex nodded. And the route? Through Port 7. Your man there has guaranteed safe passage. Captain Rodriguez smiled. Everything's arranged. Senator Graves leaned forward. And if there's heat? Alex's voice was cold. There won't be. We own this city. I was standing by the wall, holding a wine bottle. My hand moved to my pocket. The recording app on my phone was running. Every word. Every name. Every detail. This was it. The evidence that would end them. Then I felt eyes on me. I looked up. Jeff was staring at me from across the room. His expression suspicious. He stood, walked toward me. My blood turned to ice. Anna, he said loudly. More wine. Yes, sir. I moved to pour. As I leaned forward, he whispered, What are you doing? Serving wine, sir. Your hand shaking. I'm just nervous. So many important guests. His hand shot out, grabbed my wrist. Hard. What's in your pocket? Time stopped. Everyone was looking now. Alex. Kelvin. The guests. Nothing, sir. Just. Show me. I had no choice. I reached into my pocket, pulled out my phone. Jeff snatched it, looked at the screen. His face went white, then red. She's recording us. The room exploded. Kelvin lunged at me. I dropped the wine bottle. It shattered and ran. Behind me, voices shouting. I made it to the kitchen, grabbed a knife from the counter. Kelvin burst through the door. You're dead, you stupid. I swung the knife, caught his arm. He roared in pain. But there were too many of them. Hands grabbed me, dragged me back to the dining room, threw me on the floor. Alex stood over me, the phone in his hand. You've been spying on us, he said quietly, deadly quiet. No, don't lie. Jeff kicked me in the ribs. Pain exploded through my chest. Alex raised a hand. Jeff, enough. He knelt down, looked me in the eyes. Who are you working for? I didn't answer. The police? FBI? Who? No one, I gasped. I just needed leverage. For my daughter's surgery. I thought if I had information I could. You're lying. He stood, pulled a gun from inside his jacket, pointed it at my head. Last chance, Anna. Who are you working for? I closed my eyes. Thought of Sophia. I'm sorry, baby. FBI. Nobody move. The front door exploded inward. Agents flooded the room. Black tactical gear. Rifles raised. FBI. Hands in the air. Chaos. The guests scattered. Someone screamed. Alex's gun swung toward the agents. Drop the weapon. Agent Reeves shouted. Drop it now. For one terrible second, I thought he'd shoot. Then Kelvin grabbed his arm. Boss, it's over. Alex dropped the gun, raised his hands. His eyes found mine, full of rage, and something else. Respect. You? He said quietly. You were just a maid. I stood up slowly, ribs screaming. That's what you kept telling yourself. Agent Reeves helped me to my feet. You okay? I've been better. She smiled. You did it, Anna. We got them all. I watched as agents cuffed Alex, Irene, Jeff, Kelvin, the Colombians, Captain Rodriguez, Senator Graves, all of them. But as they led me out of the mansion, I heard Agent Reeves on her radio. Target secured. Informant in custody. Wait, custody? What does that mean? I asked. She didn't look at me. You're under arrest, Anna. for conspiracy to commit drug trafficking. My world tilted. What? No. I was helping you. You participated in their operation for 3 months. That makes you an accomplice. I was gathering evidence. That's for a judge to decide. They put handcuffs on me, just like the others. 6 months later, federal courthouse. I sat at the defense table in an orange jumpsuit. My lawyer, a public defender who looked exhausted, was shuffling papers. Across the room, Alex Williams and his family. Expensive lawyers. Custom suits. They looked calm. I looked like I hadn't slept in weeks. Because I hadn't. The prosecutor stood. Your Honor, the government's case is simple. Ana Martinez knowingly participated in a criminal enterprise for financial gain. That's not true, I shouted. The judge banged his gavel. Ms. Martinez, you'll have your chance to speak. The prosecutor continued. She lived in their home. She accepted their money. And most importantly, she never reported what she knew to authorities until she needed leverage for her own benefit. My lawyer stood. Your Honor, my client was the one who brought this entire operation down. Without her recordings, her photographs, her testimony, her illegal recordings, the prosecutor interrupted. Obtained without consent, under false pretenses. They called me to the stand. I swore to tell the truth.
I solemnly swear
then
to
the
tell
prosecutor began.
The whole truth, and
Ms.
nothing
Martinez,
but the truth.
When did you first realize the Williams family was involved in criminal activity? 3 days after I started working there. And what did you do? I didn't know what to do. I was scared. Scared enough to quit? I couldn't quit. My daughter needed. So you stayed. Accepted their money. Continued working for drug traffickers. I was gathering evidence. For 3 months, you said nothing to authorities. I called the FBI tip line after 2 weeks. But you stayed in their house, earning a paycheck. That's not witness cooperation, Ms. Martinez. That's complicity. I looked at the jury. 12 faces. Some sympathetic, some disgusted. Then Alex's lawyer stood for cross-examination. Ms. Martinez, you mentioned your daughter needs surgery. Expensive surgery. Correct? Yes. And the Williams family paid you triple the normal housekeeping rate. Correct? Yes, but $60,000 over 3 months. Correct? I swallowed. Yes. So you had financial motivation to stay involved with this family. That's not why. You also admitted to illegally recording private conversations, breaking into locked offices, stealing documents. All crimes, Ms. Martinez. My lawyer objected. The judge sustained it. But the damage was done. The Williams family's defense. Then came the twist I didn't see coming. Alex's lawyer called a surprise witness. Irene Williams. She took the stand, looking elegant in a cream-colored suit. Mrs. Williams, the lawyer began. Did you know about your husband's criminal activities? No. Her voice was steady, convincing. I knew nothing. And your son, Jeff? He kept secrets from me. I'm ashamed to admit, I didn't know my own son was involved in such terrible things. Lies. All lies. But she was good. Mrs. Williams, did you ever suspect Ana Martinez was working against your family? Irene looked at me. Something flickered in her eyes. Satisfaction. Yes. She was always lurking, listening. I tried to warn my husband, but he trusted her. So in your view, She manipulated your family? Absolutely. She used her position to spy on us. To gather information she could sell. Sell? To whom? I don't know. But I heard her on the phone once. Talking about money. About leverage. More lies. But the jury was listening. The verdict. 3 weeks later. The courtroom was packed. Alex Williams, guilty on all counts. Life in prison. Jeff Williams, guilty. 25 years. Kelvin, guilty. 30 years. Captain Rodriguez, guilty. 15 years. Senator Graves, guilty. 10 years. Irene Williams, not guilty. Insufficient evidence. She walked free. Then the judge looked at me. Ana Martinez, the jury finds you guilty of conspiracy to commit drug trafficking. Sentencing will be in 30 days. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. This wasn't how it was supposed to end. They led me back to my cell. That night, I sat on the thin mattress, staring at the wall. I destroyed a criminal empire, and destroyed myself in the process. Sophia was with my sister now. Safe. The surgery had been paid for by a victim's fund. At least I'd done that much. But I was going to prison for helping put criminals behind bars. Then a guard appeared. Martinez, you have a visitor. I stood slowly. Who? Didn't say. In the visiting room, someone was waiting. Agent Nat Reeves. She sat down across from me, slid a folder across the table. What's this? I asked. Your freedom. Comma. Agent Reeves leaned forward. The FBI screwed up, Anna. We pushed too hard for your conviction. Made you look like a criminal instead of a witness. I noticed. But we found something. Something big. She opened the folder. Inside, bank statements, transfer records, emails. Irene Williams wasn't innocent. She was running the whole operation. My breath caught. What? Alex was the face, but Irene was the brain. She managed the money, the connections, everything. She pushed a document toward me. Look at this. 3 days before your arrest, Irene transferred $15 million to offshore accounts. How did you find this? Your recordings. We went back through every conversation you captured. There's a phone call between Irene and the Colombians. She's giving orders, making decisions. Hope flickered in my chest. So, you can arrest her? We can. But there's a problem. Of course there was. She fled the country yesterday. We don't know where. The hope died. So she wins. Agent Reeves smiled. Not necessarily. We need your help again, Anna. You can't be serious. Irene trusts you. Or at least, she thinks you're in prison. Out of the picture. I am in prison. Not if you work with us. She slid another paper across the table. Witness protection. Full immunity. Clean record. And a government salary. In exchange for what? Help us find Irene. She'll surface eventually. And when she does, we need someone she won't suspect. I stared at the paper. You want me to be bait. I want to give you a chance to finish what you started. I thought about Sophia. About the surgery that saved her life. About the 3 months I spent risking everything to do the right thing. About sitting in a cell for crimes I committed trying to stop criminals. If I do this, I said slowly, if I help you catch Irene, full immunity, fresh start. We'll even relocate you and your daughter. New names. New lives. I picked up the pen. Sign the paper. When do we start? Agent Reeves smiled. Already started. Irene's been depositing money into an account in Costa Rica. We flagged it. She'll need someone to access it for her. Why can't she do it herself? Because the account is in your name. My eyes widened. What? She set you up, Anna? Transferred money through your identity to frame you if anything went wrong. But now? It's our leverage. 2 months later, Costa Rica.
This is amazing.
I sat at a cafe overlooking the
I
beach,
needed this.
wearing sunglasses,
This place is
different hair color, tourist clothes,
I needed this.
waiting. A woman approached. Irene Williams. She looked different too. Shorter hair. No jewelry. Trying to blend in. She sat down across from me. Hello, Anna. Mrs. Williams. She smiled. I didn't expect to see you out of prison so soon. I got lucky. Or unlucky. Depending on how you look at it. She slid a piece of paper across the table. There's $15 million in an account with your name on it. I need you to withdraw it. Why would I help you? Because if you don't, I'll make sure your daughter has an accident. There it was. The threat. Just like Jeff. I pretended to think about it. Then reached into my bag. Pulled out a phone. Pressed a button. You're right, Mrs. Williams. I should help you. Her expression shifted. Suspicious. What are you doing? Finishing what I started. FBI agents appeared from everywhere, surrounding the cafe. Guns drawn. Irene Williams, you're under arrest. She looked at me, betrayal in her eyes. You're working with them? I was always working with them. But you were convicted. I took a deal. Because unlike you, I know when to cut my losses. They cuffed her, led her away. She screamed the whole time. You're nothing. You were just a maid. Just a maid. I watched her go. Then turned to Agent Reeves. Is it over? She nodded. It's over. 6 months later, epilogue. New city. New name. New life. Sophia was thriving. Healthy. Happy. No more surgeries. No more bills. Just normal life. I got a job at a law office. Filing. Organizing. Staying invisible. It's what I'm good at. One day, my boss asked me, Sarah, you're incredibly detail-oriented. Have you ever thought about law school? I smiled. Maybe, but I think I prefer staying behind the scenes. Why? Because that's where you see everything. That night, I tucked Sophia into bed. Mama, tell me a story. What kind of story? A brave one. I smiled. Once upon a time, there was a woman who cleaned houses for a living. Was she a princess? No, baby. She was something better. What? She was smart. She was patient. And she knew that the most dangerous people are the ones nobody notices. Sophia yawned. Did she win? I kissed her forehead. She survived. And sometimes, that's the same thing.